The same old problems, I thought I solved them. Fell so far, I broke through the bottom. Wound up back at square one, losing a battle that I thought
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Behind the Wall Media YouTube channel. Today we got a really cool video that earlier today, NASCAR 2021 Ignition trailer dropped, and Twitter's been going crazy. Everywhere's been going crazy, and I'm here to break it down. I'm going to talk NASCAR, I'm going to talk gaming, and it's going to be a good time. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. That was an extremely jam-packed NASCAR video game trailer. It's obviously not iRacing, as we come to know that no NASCAR game is going to come out on console near as good as iRacing is, but it's a good game. There's a lot of things you can take away from it, starting out with how good the graphics looked at the start. The pictures of the Homestead, you walk through the garage area, you got Bristol, it looked like Texas right at the start. You have so many good screenshots, good, I guess, cinematics through the whole thing. But before we get into like the details of all the new stuff and breaking down the trailer, there's a lot of things that I read about it. It's not going to have the Xfinity series or the truck series that we've seen in NASCAR Heat series the past couple years. There's different area packages based on track, which is really cool. All this information is coming from tracksandgg.com. Career mode is going to be slightly different because there's no Xfinity in trucks. It can impact a lot, considering you can't start in, I guess, dirt late models or dirt modifieds. You're working your way up from a small team in Cup and making your way up to a Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing. 40-player online races are still there, and you'd be able to vote for the next race, which is I think a really good feature, because what we've seen in years past is the host gets full privilege and gets to pick this and pick that. So I think it's really cool for the rotating races, get to vote on a race. It's like a Call of Duty, how they used to do it, vote on a map, essentially. But they have the Shake and Bake playlist, which is super speedways and intermediates. So drafting, Shake and Bake, good old Talladega Nights reference. We all love those. The Bump and Run, short tracks, road courses, places where you get the big storylines that we talk about on the podcast every week. Storylines. It's short track. I'm going to be playing that a lot. I love short tracks, love road courses. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. The one thing is there's no private lobbies, so league racers, I hate to break it to you, but it's going to suck, because I like racing leagues. I like getting in these things, but no private lobbies. It might kill that. Hopefully we see that come back in an update. But you can create parties. You can hop in races with your friends and not rush to try to get into a lobby before it fills up. So another cool feature that they didn't have in the Heat franchise that they're definitely going to have now. Next, we're going to go into the paint booth. It's going to be brand new. Hopefully we get to see something like we see in NASCAR 14, NASCAR 15, with the whole customization options. When you had the Heat Series, Evolution started, very limited stuff you could do. If you could even do it, I can't remember correctly, but it's always been pre-made paint schemes. You could pick the color, you get to do this and that and mix and match, but it was never full design. So I think we could see a lot of different things. That's what makes iRacing so unique with trading paints. So many different schemes that people can create, and artists are really able to show their abilities. We have accurately modeled trophies, so the trophy case within the game could be a really cool feature, because you get the Daytona 500 trophy, and when you go to Richmond, you get the whole Wooden Virginia trophy, which is one of the coolest trophies, I think. Kind of biased towards Richmond, but Gotta go with that trophy as being one of my favorites. You got Alex Hayden MRN commentary throughout the game. It's kind of similar to what we saw in Heat Evolution with Rick Allen and NBCSN, like their broadcast, which was really cool and adds to the career mode a lot. Freddie Kraft is a spotter, different from what we've seen with TJ Majors a lot. So it's going to be a different voice in your head. It's going to be different. But Freddie Kraft's an amazing spotter for Bubba Wallace in the Cup Series. So I think he's going to do a great job. Also, a big fan of his podcast with when he's on Door Bumper Clear a lot. So not his podcast, but he's on there quite a bit. You got the soundtrack. That we're going to take a minute and talk about this. You got Leonard Skinner, Imagine Dragons, Luke Combs, and Aerosmith. It's fantastic. The things that we've had in the past, we've had Steve Everett, a really good friend of ours, who's been able to be in these video games, and his music's fantastic. I hope we see his music in NASCAR 2021 Ignition. But you get big-time superstars, Leonard Skinner, Aerosmith, I'll just say him again, Luke Combs, Imagine Dragons, huge name artists getting on this game. I think it's really good opportunity for some smaller artists to get on here and be on the same soundtrack with Luke Combs. How many people get the opportunity to say that? But then at the end of the video, you see the screen pop up. It pops up with the Champ cover. You get the original standard edition, and you get Bill and Chase Elliott. So you see family ties on the front. You got Bill Elliott on the front of the Champions cover with a drivable car in the game. That version is going to be $90, but then the standard edition is going to be the $60. To what it is for, I guess, old gen type things. It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, no Xbox Series X, no PlayStation 5, but then it's on Steam. So PC will stay the same, but that's $60, and that cover's got Chase, Bubba, and Blaney on it. It's a really cool cover in my opinion, but I think there's a lot to take from this article and apply it to what we've seen in the thing, because you got new physics. The physics look noticeably different, like we're going to see in the video here in a minute, but R Factor 2 physics, and one of the top sims in the world. So I think it's a really good opportunity for NASCAR console gaming to get back on the right track, and I'm super excited to play it. I'm going to get my hands on it the first day it comes out. But now we're going to get into what everybody's been waiting for. We're going to dive into this trailer, and I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. You saw it earlier. I mentioned it earlier. The first 10 seconds is just kind of like a B-roll footage of different tracks. You got Las Vegas, you got Homestead, you got Atlanta, you got Bristol. You got a lot of the big name tracks in NASCAR being showed B-roll footage. But you see that, and then it goes from that to the up-close pit crew and garage type things. It's like, look at this pit crew guy's face. It's the graphics in this aren't the best, but what we've seen in the cinematic videos is really good graphics, really good B-roll footage, and I want to see gameplay. And they say that this was gameplay footage, but I don't know how much of it actually was gameplay footage, and I'm really dying to see more of that, because that's what all of us did when we want to play video games. We want to see the trailers, we want to see how the game is played, and we don't really get to see too much of that, which is kind of scary, but cinematics nonetheless did a really good job of, I guess, showcasing the game. You saw Little Rex, towards like the 24-second mark, you get like the shine on the cars, and that was a big problem in Heat Evolution, which they came out with an update with, like later when the game came out, because of how bad the shine was on the car. It was like too glossy. It was something off with the car. They didn't look right, and the game developers knew that this was a problem, so they went and fixed it. But it kind of has that shine to the cars, which again kind of scares me. I don't want to go back to Heat Evolution. Heat Evolution was probably one of the worst NASCAR games of all time. So we got good progress with NASCAR Heat 5 and throughout that whole Heat series, but now we're kind of starting off on a new foot with Ignition. So hopefully we continue to go up, and I don't want to backtrack at all. What else do we got? You got the smoke on Eric Jones' car right in the middle of it, which in the garage area right here, like, it just doesn't look realistic at all, which it needs. We don't need that, especially in a trailer. You know it doesn't look great. I don't think it's great to be showcased like that. So hopefully this gets better. I'm going to keep saying gets better, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and I'm not totally thrilled with what I've seen in the trailer, but I think there's a lot of room to improve, and like I said, you're going to hear me say get better a lot. But you see the first wreck early in it. pretty good physics. You got a little bit of gameplay here and there, what looks like gameplay. Later in the video, you have a onboard camera of William Byron with a car wrecking in front of him. But then at the middle of the video again, you got cars in one line, which going around Nashville, there was a bunch of different lines in that race. Dirty air wasn't playing a factor into it. I could be thinking too realistically into this, but like I said, it's scary. I want dirty air. I want different lines. I don't want the AI to be hooked to one line, which is what we've seen in other games. It's AI is hooking to one line, quote unquote, roller coastering around the track. So I want to be able to race AIs, race different lines. If I take the bottom, they're not going to come and try to run the bottom too while I'm down there. Stuff like that, the cars in one line kind of scares me exactly because they're all in one line, like one exact line. And it's not ideal, especially in a trailer. You don't want to showcase that. You don't want to get people like me thinking that it's going to be one line like we see the Heat franchise being. But the physics look noticeably different. You see car getting a little bit of airtime when you see the car wreck in front of William Byron, which is really good to see because the physics in the NASCAR Heat game weren't that great. The car just always felt extremely light, and then it went to very heavy. Then it went back to light again. It was weird how that game felt. Maybe it was because I was on controller and not wheel, but the car always just felt super light to me. And hopefully these new physics help make the car feel more heavy and not a little bit like all over the place. Road courses, they were noticeably different. We look at the Pro Series. You got guys running road courses in third gear all the way around, super speedways in third gear all the way around. Hopefully we see a more realistic gear ratio setup menu. We didn't really get to see that in the trailer. So being able to set up your cars, make them realistic. Don't let me drive third gear all around a mile and a half because that's just not realistic. And if you want this game to really take off, you need a professional esports level in it like they have with the Heat Pro League, which I think they've done a really good job with. I hope this game has that platform because it's fun. It's a lot of time spent on the game, definitely, because I tried for the first season and it was a lot of time spent. But I think this game, hopefully, probably not in the first year, but maybe in the second year, we'll have the Pro League. And the last clip I'm going to point out is when the Matt DiBenedetto car ends up kicking up dirt in the front stretch and doesn't really get loose. It looks like he's able to drive through it, which I thought was cool. But I think it'd be cool, more realistic, if like we could see a little bit of splitter damage. You know, we have these huge splitters on the bottom of the car, and when they hit grass, it usually upsets them a lot. So if the car wasn't affected at all. He drove right through it. It was cool that it kicked up dirt, but I don't think it does more for the realism factor that I'm looking for in these games. Especially, we're in 2021. We're looking at sports games. You look at Madden, you look at NBA, and there's a lot of improvement that NASCAR can make with their games, developers, this and that. Yeah, we're not with EA anymore, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think NASCAR needs to start making that and chase iRacing in that aspect. But overall, the game looks good. No matter what I said about this, I'm still going to get it as an avid NASCAR fan as I am. So I can't wait to get it. It's going to be awesome. Pre-orders open tomorrow, so make sure you go to your GameStop, go to your PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, every place you can buy the game, and go put a pre-order down. You'll get access to the game 2 days early, which will be awesome. You get a great chance to go and get a head start in your career mode, get some practice in, so when the game drops, you can go battle against your friends and bump and bang, because I know that's what I'll be doing. But I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Go hit the subscribe button. Go hit the like button. Go turn the notification bell on. We love making content. We love making videos like this. So if you all enjoy it, leave a comment down below. Let us know how you like it, and we'll see you in the next one.